¿Qué pasa, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Guys, we made it! We are here for the first week of playoffs for the second season of the UCL. And this is actually kind of crazy because as much as I wanted to get the playoffs, as much as I really wanted to get here, I can't believe we're actually here. We are in playoffs. Not only are we in playoffs, we are actually number 1 in the UCL going into playoffs, which from last season, to know that last season I was not even able to finish, to then be able to come and still be, just the fact that I was still considered for season 2 just means a lot to me already. But to know that I was able to make it to playoffs after not being able to finish first season is just, I think it's a really good accomplishment for myself. Just kind of a little personal thing, because I'm happy that I was able to finish this season, and above that, we're in playoffs. Like I can't believe this. We are so close to potentially being the season 2 champions. Now, of course, we have 2 tough battles ahead of us. In the finals, if we do win, if we do beat Jay, the fellow North Carolina team, in the playoffs, then we either have to face Joey or Miguel. So that is gonna be a tough match, you already know. But hey, there's a chance we may lose our first playoff match, but I'm not looking to lose now. I'm not looking to lose. I'm looking for a W. But Jay has one terrifying Pokemon that utterly annihilates and destroys and mangles any combination of 6 Pokemon that I want to bring. Now, Nido King is a terrifying, absolutely terrifying Pokemon to face. Thankfully, in week, what week was it? I think we faced Jay week 11, I want to say. I want to say it was week 11. We faced Jay week 11, I think. And for some reason, he didn't bring Nidoking. For some reason, he didn't bring Nidoking. I don't know why, but I'm 99% sure, and so is Ellis. Both Ellis and I are both 99% sure that this week, the playoffs, is when Jay is actually going to bring Nidoking. Now, before I get into what squad we're bringing this week, I want to give a huge thanks to Ellis. For those of you who may not watch my team building videos, normally Ellis is our assistant coach, an amazing person. I could honestly make like a 30-minute video alone just explaining how much help Ellis is. So he, of course, is a huge factor, another huge factor of why we are in the playoffs, because he's just been so much help. His Twitter link is always down in the description of all the team building videos and all the UCL videos, so if you guys ever want to tweet at him and thank him for helping us get this far, I would greatly appreciate it. Although you don't have to, it's just, if you do, then thank you. If not, then hey, it's fine. Just big thanks to Ellis, of course. I never want to take full credit for a team because he, like I said, is just such huge help. So it's been 3.5 minutes. Let's get into it. As you can see, if you remember from the original match that we had against Jay, our squad is relatively the same. The only real change that we have is that we have Zebstriker over Leafeon. Now, Leafeon's role in our original match with Jay was just to kind of be able to gain us momentum. That was really the only reason that we had Leafeon. Leafeon really didn't do anything in that match besides be able to potentially baton pass an SD, or baton pass a substitute, or baton pass out on a predicted switch that I thought Jay may have wanted to do. Unfortunately, Leafeon didn't exactly do anything in our original match, but that's okay because we have Zebstriker making his return. We got good old Riddick here. Of course, we got Vicente the Victini, Tortuga the Mega Blastoise, Evergreen the Shaymin, Damien the Druddigon, and of course, Tranquilo Krookodile the Krookodile. So like I said, the only real mon that we changed up was Leafeon, but now we have Riddick the Zebstriker, which is really great, and I think I will start off with Riddick. Normally, I like to go in order of mons, but I'll start off with Riddick because he's the newest addition to this week's match. So hold on, let me check one last thing. And actually, this is more or less what Ellis and I think he's going to bring. Manectric is going to be severely annoying. Now, last time he brought Suicune, Heatran, Scizor, Gliscor, Gramble, and Manectric. So this time, I'm positive that he's either going to want to leave the Gramble or leave the Gliscor. Gliscor honestly did nothing for him in our original match, so I could see him maybe not bringing that. But more or less, these 5 Mons are what Ellis and I are still expecting him to bring. Which honestly, the combination of not Mega Manectric, but regular Manectric and Nido King is going to be rather annoying for us to handle. Now, even though, yes, we do have Zebstriker here and we do have Krookodile, depending on what kind of set this Manectric is will determine on how we can deal with it. If he only brings Nido King or Manectric, if for some reason he doesn't bring Nido King, for one, Jay has gone insane. Playoffs have just got to his mind because there's literally zero reason you should not just bring Nido King. Like, Nido King destroys, and like, I have no switch-ins. Anytime Nido King switches in, something on my team is basically dying. That's actually why we have Light Screen on Zebstriker. Originally, we did have Overheat over Light Screen, but last minute, I think, like the day after I got the team from Ellis, I was like, hey, why not Light Screen over Overheat? Or it was a couple days. I don't remember, but I was like, why not have Light Screen over Overheat? Because the rest of our team basically takes on Mega Scizor 1v1. And anytime he's going to bring in Scizor, while I wouldn't want to go straight for the Overheat, yes, it would be nice to have Overheat for Mega Scizor. It's just, I don't want to be at -2 and then just give him an even better safe switch in to his Nido King or something like that. So if he does, let's say, bring in Mega Scizor on Zebstriker, I can just go for Volt Switch into my Druddigon and go from there. And then Light Screen is mainly going to be here if, obviously, if he does bring in Nido King. If he does end up bringing in Azoth, having Light Screen up for this is going to be very helpful as well. Actually, the fact that we have something that's able to naturally outspeed Azoth is really, really good because this week we are actually not rocking Choice Scarf on Krookodile, and I'll get into Krookodile in a second, but basically Riddick's EV spreads and set is very obvious, very straightforward is what I want to say. The only real kind of curveball is Light Screen. Obviously, if we're able to Light Screen on something like a Nido King before he knocks us out, that's going to be tremendously amazing for the remainder of my team, because that means the rest of my team can guarantee live one hit from Nido King. Let's say it's something like Blastoise. Blastoise can come in, we can chew a Thunderbolt or a Sludge Wave or an Earth Power, and in return just finally KO and get rid of the Nido King. Also, it's going to be nice if he does have maybe like a nasty plot Zebstriker. Not nasty plot Zebstriker, but a nasty plot Azoth potentially. Manectric, if it's Specs, then we can have Light Screen up. We can soften hits from that. But if it's Specs, then I will be able to play around it a little bit easier. If it's Life Orb is when Manectric could actually be a bit of a problem because we don't have priority, and unfortunately Hidden Power Ice I think is only doing about 30 to 40% to Manectric, so unless I'm able to consistently wear him down, Manectric could maybe get out of hand. Like I said, the combination of Nido King plus Manectric is a little bit hard for our draft and our team to deal with. The good thing is though, is that we have Mons that can easily switch into any move Manectric would want to go for, and then we have offensive Mons that are faster than Nido King. So if Nido King isn't scarfed, and actually if Nido King is scarfed, it is going to be a little bit easier for us to deal with, because if we have Light Screen up, obviously he's not going to be doing nearly as much damage as he would be doing if he had a Life Orb, plus he's going to be locked into one specific move, which means I will be able to play around it accordingly and then go from there. But yeah, Zebstriker is really here to just kind of keep Azoth in check, be able to keep Manectric in check. If we need to, we can hopefully get up a Light Screen to soften up hits from his many special attackers. I think his only real physical attackers that he would even want to bring are Scizor, and I guess a physical Azoth? I'm trying to see, Hitmonlee. I guess Hitmonlee could actually be a bit of a nuisance, although I don't know what he would run over Hitmonlee. Like, I'm pretty sure he would want to bring Heatran because it more or less just deals with our Shaymin. It deals with Clefable as well. It can take on Registeel even, and it can kind of take on Druddigon too, and Leafeon. And it can switch into Zebstriker. But if he does bring in the Heatran, I'm very positive he's going to be a defensive variant with either Shucka Berry or Air Balloon. So it's going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for. But Suicune, I think, is still just going to be a Calm Mind variant. Scizor could just be a bulky SD variant. Depending on what kind of sets Nido King, Manectric, and Azelf are, if he decides to bring all three, will determine on how we can deal with it. I can maybe see a Scarf Manectric coming again, although Life Orb or Expert Belt. I think Expert Belt would be probably the scariest Manectric that we would have to deal with. While Choice Specs does do a lot of extra power if he decides to bring that, the fact that, for one, we're able to outspeed it with Zebstriker, and for two, that we can play around what move he wants to lock himself into will kind of just make it that much easier to deal with. So it's when Manectric and Nido King have free liberty to switch up moves is when that core becomes really, really terrifying. So we are going to have to watch out for that. But like I said, the great thing about us, about our draft is, while yes, we are tremendously weak to Nido King, we have offensive threats that outspeed it and force him out unless he's scarfed. So first off, we have good old Vicente the Victini coming back for this week against Jay. Vicente plus Shaymin plus Mega Blastoise. I think I said this in the original battle that we had against Jay. Mega Blastoise plus Shaymin plus Victini just puts so much, especially offensive pressure on Jay's draft that I really feel going into this battle, it's going to be going back and forth a lot. Because like I said, he's definitely going to bring Nido King this week. So if he's Life Orbed, as soon as he knocks out one of my Pokemon, I get a free switch into either my Victini or my Shaymin, which in return can OHKO or 2-KO anything that Jay wants to bring. So if it gets into a back and forth situation, it's going to come down to, what do I need to sack and what do I need to keep most for mid to late game? So I really feel like this is going to be a fast-paced match. And I guess I don't know how long our first battle was. I think it was like maybe 40-50 minutes. I think, like I said, I really think this one is just going to be a more fast-paced battle, because the only reason our original battle was so long is because he didn't bring Nido King. So if he brings it this time, then again, obviously I'm going to have to sack things off, but in return I get to force him to sack things off. So I'm pretty sure that we just have the exact same Victini set, although this time we are running Adamant Nature instead of a plus speed nature, and that is because Ellis is very, very positive that Jay is going to want to bring a defensive variant of Gliscor this week, as opposed to a more speedy variant, which is what we originally prepped for in the first battle that we had against Jay. So while yes, it is a little bit risky to not be running enough speed to outspeed Gliscor and potential Jolly Hitmonlee, there's really no reason for him to run max speed on Jolly Hitmonlee. Plus, there's a good chance he'll just go Adamant instead of Jolly anyways. Now, the speed mark on this Victini and on Shaymin, in case I forget to mention Shaymin's EV spread, the speed on Victini and Shaymin are to be able to outspeed Jolly Hitmonlee, that speed creeping Skuntank, while still being able to outspeed max speed timid Nido King, which basically means we're almost timid max speed, we just don't have like 8 EVs there basically. So that way we can put those extra bit of EVs into another stat, for example our special attack stat. So with the Expert Belt, we don't have to risk losing HP every time because of Life Orb, and with the Modest Nature we just get a lot of better rolls in our favor. And like I said, Life Orb really isn't needed, for one, because we don't have to take damage, and two, the damage rolls from Life Orb aren't that more significant than what Expert Belt is. So we can still pick up those 2-KOs or those OHKOs. For example, we have a 98% chance to 2-KO Suicune if it is a max defensive variant, which the last Suicune he brought wasn't fully defensive, which if for some reason he brings the same set as last time for Suicune, we're going to be doing a clean 70% min. Like, Suicune is going to get destroyed by Victini if it doesn't get destroyed by Shaymin. So I'm not too concerned about Suicune. And like I said, anytime Victini comes in with the proper prediction, I basically get a free KO. I force out Nido King, and then I can Bolt Strike to 2-KO Suicune. I can Break to 2-KO Heatran. I can just Blue Flare to destroy Scizor, I can Blue Flare to destroy Manectric and destroy Azoth. If he brings Hitmonlee, that's not switching into a Blue Flare. If he brings Granbull again, that's not safely switching into 2 Blue Flares either. If he brings Gliscor, then we can just go straight for the Blue Flare and then Glaciate. If I know that it's not going to be faster than the Victini, which again, he should want to bring a more defensive variant of Gliscor like he brought in our original match. So of course, Glaciate is for Gliscor, Brick Break is for Heatran, Bolt Strike is for the Suicune, and then Blue Flare is mainly just for Stab. Although it would be really nice to have Psychic, we can't fit it on the set. I guess maybe Psychic over Brick Break would be kind of nice, but then at that point, we're not really able to touch Heatran, which could maybe come back to bite us in the end. But yeah, Victini, I really think is going to put in a lot of work in this match. U-turn would have been an also a really good move to have, but hey, it's fine. It's not that big of an issue, as we're going to move down to good old Tortuga, the mascot of the Durham Druddigons himself, making his return. Now, in our original match, we had enough speed to outspeed Suicune by 4... we had enough speed to outspeed Suicune by 1, because we had 4 we had 4 speed EVs to be able to outspeed Suicune by 1 point, basically is what I'm saying. I apologize that I can't English. But this is kind of following the same trend as that Blastoise. The only different thing about this Blastoise is that we actually have a little bit of extra speed to potentially outspeed speed creeping Suicune. So as you can see here, Suicune reaches 105 speed and we reach 108. So unless he's running 28 speed EVs, which I highly doubt Jay would be running that much speed on Suicune, then we are going to be able to easily outspeed Suicune. And if it's not Assault Vest, or if it's not specially defensive, or if he doesn't have any boosts or a Sphere, should actually be a solid to a KO depending on rolls, I think, after rocks. But even if he does have Calm Mind, we do have Haze. Now, Haze was kind of a toss-up between either Haze, obviously, or Roar, or Refresh. Even Aqua Jet was an option. But honestly, I did some calcs with Aqua Jet, and it is only doing about like maybe 20-25% at most to most things, which honestly, that's not enough damage. I would rather have a safe insurance against Calm Mind Suicune, even though yes, we do have an electric type and a grass type and Bolt Strike on Victini. Suicune, if it's his last Pokemon and all my resources are gone, could potentially beat me. So if it comes down to that scenario, we have Haze, and we will hopefully be able to beat it 1v1. Obviously, modest max special attack. Jay has 0 switch-ins to this. With Scald and Aura Sphere, we have just perfect neutral type coverage against anything and everything that he wants to bring. So if something's not going to get knocked out by Aura Sphere, we're just going to burn it with Scald, or we're just going to crit it. No, obviously I'm not looking for hacks, but Blastoise is just going to be really, really hard for Jay to deal with. Not to mention that we're nice and fat. Mega Blastoise being such a bulky mon, if worst comes to worst, we're gonna be able to live any one hit from any offensive threat that he has, and in return be able to hopefully weaken it for it to be revenge killed, or in return just knock it out with whatever move we want to go for. And especially if we have Light Screen up, then we can basically take on Manectric, we can take on Nido King, we can take on Azoth as well if it really came down to it and we were able to get up a Light Screen. But yeah, Mega Blastoise along with Vicente and Shaymin just is going to put so much pressure on Jay, and if worse comes to worse, we can chew one hit even without a Light Screen at full HP, and then we'll just go from there. So moving on down to the third and final threatening scary mon of our amazing fire water grass core, we have Shaymin. Now again, Shaymin is running the same speed as Victini, which is running enough speed to outspeed max speed Nido King, and enough to outspeed Jolly Hitmonlee, that's running enough speed to outspeed max speed Skuntank, if for some reason we were going to bring that. But like I said, he shouldn't want to bring Jolly Hitmonlee in the first place. I would really want to say he's going to bring more of a aggressive Adamant variant, maybe Adamant Scarf, or Fake Out Normal Gem maybe, although I don't really like the Unburdened set. Actually, yeah, if it was like Fake Out Normal Gem, that would be a lot easier for us to deal with. But I want to say that he's going to probably bring like a Scarf variant of Hitmonlee, because like I said, Hitmonlee could be a bit of a nuisance, but I guess I would rather deal with Hitmonlee over something like Heatran or Suicune, because that's just one less bulky mon that we have to deal with. Or hey, he may have Hitmonlee over Manectric, which would be absolutely amazing. Because now I don't have to worry about Nido King and not Mega Manectric, but regular Manectric. I'm so used to saying Mega Manectric because I've never used Manectric. But yeah, anyways, we're just rocking the same set as last time, I'm pretty sure. Seed Flare plus Earth Power plus Hidden Power Fire literally just hits everything and anything that Jay wants to bring. Basically, Shaymin is our Nido King to Jay. The only benefit of Shaymin is that it's bulkier than what Nido King is, and its stab move is spammable beyond all belief, to the point where I really think there's no drawback. Like, even if he has Heatran, I'm probably still just gonna Seed Flare turn 1 against it. Or if he does want to switch it in, sorry, I'm still going to Seed Flare as it comes in, because there's a chance that 1, we break a balloon, or 2, we get the Spadef drop, which even after the Shucka Berry at -2 Earth Power from Modest Life Orb Shaymin, that Spadef Heatran is dropping. So like I said, just Shaymin fulfills the role of Nido King, as Nido King fulfills its role for Jay, basically. While we bring in Shaymin, we're forcing him to sack something off, but in return he can potentially bring something in to check us. For example, like Manectric or Azelf if he decides to bring them, or if he brings like Life Orb Hitmonlee, then Fake Out plus Mach Punch could really hurt, or something like that. But you get what I'm trying to say. Shaymin, while it's able to live more hits from Nido King, it's still gonna just apply so much pressure, and in the end be able to beat Nido King 1v1. Now, I did want to go with a bit more bulk into this set, so we can maybe switch in a little bit more comfortably to a Life Orb Suicune, because he did bring Life Orb Suicune in our first match, but unfortunately we have to have Modest Max Special Attack with Life Orb if we want Seed Flare to be a straight OHKO on Nido King, if I'm not mistaken. So while that does kind of suck, Shaymin itself is still just a very bulky one to be able to live any hit that we needed to, and again, especially if we are able to get up a Light Screen. My only hope in this match, I really want to be able to get up Light Screen with Zebstriker. Like, the last time that we brought Zebstriker, he did nothing but switch in, get crit, and die. So I'm hoping in this match, Zebstriker can redeem himself. We haven't used him, and he's now in playoffs, so I'm hoping that we can get up a Light Screen, and that we can use that Light Screen to be able to gain momentum back into our favor, or we can just pick up even more KOs because of the Light Screen. But yeah, regardless, Shaymin is gonna be applying so much pressure to Jay. Basically, out of the 3 most important members of this core, I really want to say Shaymin is by far the most important Mon that we need going into this battle outside of Blastoise and Vicente. So I'm hoping that if it all plays out correctly, then hopefully Shaymin will be able to survive mid to late game and just kind of pick off the rest of his team, or maybe weaken them to where Zebstriker could pick them off, or maybe Vicente could still be around and we can use him to pick them off. But basically, Shaymin, I really want to say, is going to be the last, or the second to last of the 3 Mons that's probably going to go down, just because of how useful Shaymin really is. So I'm really hoping Shaymin will put in a lot of work going into this battle. But yeah, Shaymin just gonna be an absolute monster as always. Moving on down the line, making his return, we got Damien the Druddigon. Damien the Druddigon rocking, of course, the nice rocky helmet and the rough skin. He still ain't getting any lotion, because you know we gotta keep that skin nice and spiky, so Scizor won't be happy to just bullet punch SD and sweep, and it will also punish Hitmonlee from going for a potential rapid spin, or if he wants a close combat, or Fake Out even, or just priority in general. But Druddigon is going to be pretty helpful in this match, just to kind of be able to keep Scizor and Hitmonlee in check if he does want to bring Hitmonlee. I'm pretty sure he would want to bring Scizor over Hitmonlee if it came down to it. So regardless, Druddigon is going to be a great physical wall going into this battle. Of course, we have Fire Punch for the Mega Scizor, we have Earthquake for the Heatran, and we have Dragon Tail for Stab. Now, I really want to say he's not going to bring Granbull, and Ellis is also thinking the same, because in the original match we actually had enough speed to be able to outspeed Granbull, if I'm not mistaken. But this time we're not running that much speed, we're running more obviously into defense and HP. The 12 Spadef EVs actually allow us to be able to live a timid Life Orb Ice Beam coming from Sheer Force Nidoking, which is a little crazy once you think about it, because Nidoking is absolutely powerful. That thing is a monster. But if worse comes to worse, we can live 1 hit and then Earthquake we'll hopefully be able to knock it out. If not, it'll put it in range to where we can revenge kill it with Zebstriker. And judging for how much damage the Ice Beam does, I will be able to tell if it is Life Orb or if it's Scarfed, obviously. So I'm definitely going to be keeping that in mind. But yeah, our moveset basically hits everything and anything that Jay would want to bring for neutral or super effective damage. I guess he could bring Gramble, but I don't know. Like, Gramble did absolutely nothing, so I don't know why he would want to bring Gramble. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Gramble, but obviously we already went over Riddick the Zebstriker. We haven't seen Riddick since week 4, so please, Riddick, please, I'm hoping you can at least get up a light screen in this match. That's all I want you to do, buddy. That's all I want you to do. So, moving on down to the final member of the Durham Druddigons in our first UCL playoff match. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. We have Tranquilo Krookodile, the Krookodile, making his return. Now, in our original match against Jay, we actually brought Scarf Krookodile because Scarf Krookodile was a great insurance to be able to stop Azov from potentially sweeping us late game. But because we do have Zebstriker, which already naturally outspeeds Azov, and because Azov is rather frail, even though we aren't going to be having any item that boosts our damage output, because Expert Belt only boosts damage when the move is super effective. So obviously we don't have a Dark or a Ghost type move. Regardless, Thunderbolt and Volt Switch are still going to be doing enough damage to Azov. And the main reason, that's also the main reason why we don't have a Choice Scarf, is because we can run Yache Berry on Krookodile. And we are also running enough speed to be able to outspeed max speed Nido King. So again, if for some reason he brings Jolly Hitmonlee, that would actually be a little bit terrifying. And again, he shouldn't bring max speed Gliscor because that wouldn't make sense. It would lose so much bulk, and then it's still not faster than Shaymin or Victini. So just, yeah, I really don't see him bringing max speed Gliscor either way. That's actually why I have Taunt. Taunt is going to be really, really great to be able to just shut down Krookodile if he brings it. We can shut down the Dusclops. We can shut down Rest Talk Crocoon. If, for example, he decides to rest with Suicune, I can bring in Krookodile, taunt it right away, then get that free switch into something like Victini or Shaymin if I need Shaymin to be able to recover. Essentially. So that's another huge reason why I wanted Taunt. Other options that we had over Taunt, I think, were like Pursuit, but because we don't have a Scarf, Pursuit really isn't that useful. Iron Tail wouldn't be bad if he brings Gramble, but I don't expect him to bring Gramble. Bulk Up, Ellis said, could also be an option, but I really don't see myself ever going for Bulk Up. If anything, Taunt is going to be just really, really great, because we can also stop Scizor from setting up, we can stop Suicune from setting up, we can stop Krookodile from cursing, we can stop Dusclops from Calm Minding if he wants to bring those. But Fire Fang, of course, is for Mega Scizor. Earthquake and Knockoff, of course, are our stab moves. And another great thing about Krookodile is that Jay doesn't really have a safe knockoff switch-in. And then Earthquake can already hit basically anything that he wants to bring, unless it's Azelf. But why would you switch in an Azelf on a Krookodile, right? So if I'm in a position, I can potentially just spam Earthquake because I know that he's not going to want to risk bringing in Azelf in on a Krookodile. Now, Yache Berry is, if I need to switch directly into Nido King, we will be able to live one Ice Beam with the Yache Berry. And then, because we are faster than Nido King, if he's not Scarfed, then we can in return just straight OHKO him with Earthquake, or if I predict them to switch out, then I just get a free knockoff on whatever comes in. So like I said, Nido King is such a huge issue for our draft in general that our best way to play around it is just forcing it out itself and forcing Jay to sack off Mons accordingly to what he doesn't need. If one of those Pokemon may end up being Nido King because he doesn't need it anymore, then that's absolutely great, because that just takes off so much pressure from whatever remaining Mons that I have, that I can use them more aggressively and not be as preservative with them, if you get what I'm trying to say. So while we do have a solid team going into this week for the playoffs, there is still a chance Jay could pull out something crazy and potentially beat us. But I trust Ellis, and I hope you guys trust my battling abilities, and I promise you guys I will definitely be taking us to the finals of the UCL unless I get hacked or I get outplayed or I just royally screw up, basically, which I'm not looking to do any of those. I'm looking to go to the finals and win that championship. So thank you all for watching, guys. We are here. One final team building video next week if we are able to win. If not, then I'll probably upload a recap video of the UCL on Sunday. And just, yeah, thank you to any and everybody who has supported me this far. It really does mean a lot to me, guys. If you watched this, then thank you. If you didn't, then it's fine. Thank you all for watching, though. And I will see you all tomorrow. I believe this match is going up around 2 or 4 p.m. I want to say. I'm not sure. It's either 2 or 4, but yeah, again, just thank you all for watching, guys. It means a lot that we made it this far, and you guys have been supporting me, and just thank you, really from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, everybody. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. So later, everybody.
This hinders me from crying a lot, just causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears, or hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping. For real.